shopping. Then we have to unpack.
What's Hoshana Rabbah?
Shana Rabbah is the final seal, the final of the final. This is like the Gemar Simateva. This is a reflection of Yom Kippur, but even more final. It's like the final thing itself. We stop certain prayers that day.
Final question?
And therefore, unpacking. The unpacking is after Tishrei. We come out of Simchas Torah, if we're sober or we're not sober. We come out, we feel a hangover. What do we do next? We fell out of who knows where. Next day, if you drink, somebody's going to look at you. What are you, an alcoholic? But the day of Simchas Torah, you can look at someone else, that guy is not really there. So when you come out the next day, you have to land on your feet. And the landing on your feet is taking all the energy that you received the whole month of Tishrei and utilizing it, fulfilling it on a daily basis. So this is basically market time now. We're shopping. We don't have to pay anything. We just have to be there. And once we're there, we receive all this energy and the assets. And then we unpack it after Tishrei and we use it. We don't just put it in our freezer. We put it into ourselves, in consolidating it, incorporating it, in order that we should live with it a whole year.
Any question?
Yeah, I had a question actually. If Shabbos falls on, if Rosh HaShana falls on Shabbos, we don't blow shofar. If I'm not mistaken, it's because we're afraid we might come to carry it. Pesach, if Shabbos and Pesach are on the same, if Pesach falls on Shabbos, it doesn't stop us from eating matzah. Even though we might carry it, we still eat, we still fulfill the mitzvah of eating matzah. So my question is, what's so special about Shabbos on Rosh Hashanah that makes it different?
Okay. Actually, the Rebbe asked the question. It's in Elokutei Sichos. I think it's volume 7. Okay. B'negia to Shabbos, when Shabbos falls out Rosh Hashanah, Chassidus explains that although the official reason is because somebody, an unlearned person, might carry the shofar because he might have a question and he might carry it in the street Shabbos. So Chassidus says we can't say that this is the ultimate reason. Because we can't say that this mitzvah was taken away from all the sages, from all the tzaddikim, because somebody might carry it. And this is mitzvah hayyin, this is the commandment of the day. So Chassidus says there's a deeper explanation, and that is that Shabbos accomplishes it. Shabbos accomplishes the idea of shofar, and therefore there's no need to fulfill the inyan of shofar because it's accomplished with Shabbos. So it's accomplished on a higher level yet, because the Rebbe says you don't need a physical person to blow shofar. Because if a physical person blows shofar, sometimes it has to depend on his intentions, on his meditation, on his performing, fulfilling the mitzvah. When it comes to Shabbos, Shabbos accomplishes it from above to below. In regards to Pesach, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember well, the Rebbe says by Pesach, because in a spiritual sense, it is a level that a person goes out of limitations of the bondage of Egypt, which means the personal limitations. So we don't fear then that a person might carry a piece of matzah in the street. Because on a spiritual level, he will stand higher that it won't come. So therefore the Chachamim did not institute it. Mashenkim by Rosh Hashanah, Shofar can come out, Rosh Hashanah can come out Shabbos. And on a positive note, on a more joyful note, it's an interesting thing. Simchas Torah can never fall out Shabbos. Why cannot fall out Shabbos? You cannot fall out Shabbos because the calendar is set up that way. I'm talking about outside of Israel. In Israel it could fall out because in Israel Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah are both in one day. And as the Mittel Rebbe once said, they're mixing the vegetable and the meat together as one. It's like it's one plate, everything. But in here, it can fall out. The answer is a very simple Balabatish answer. Simchas Torah, a person has to dance and sing and joyful. But he also has to be able to bring stuff to make him joyful. One of the things is bringing mashke to shul, bringing the liquor, bringing other things. So therefore, Simchas Torah can never fall out on Shabbos,
Yeah.
because this is a day they cannot. It's something that cannot be taken away from a yid to perform the mitzvah of Simchas Torah, which is to be joyful.
Okay.
I have a question one more time, I'm sorry. When you said before that at night, or when we're sleeping, that all these sparks, the 288 sparks are elevated, so therefore it's a state of Mashiach, correct?
It's a state.
Because then all of the sparks are elevated, but it's just...
Oh, the sparks elevated. That basically is a redemption, yeah. But it's not all of them are not done yet. In general, there's 288 sparks.
Right.
In Egypt, they took 202 sparks. The rest were left for the later exiles. So the question is why we're still sitting in exile. So the Rebbe explained, and the Rav Shneur Zalman of Liadi explained that in Egypt there were 600,000 souls. They were general neshamas, so they were able to cope with a lot on their plate. The later generations, it's just a branch of that soul, and therefore they're weaker. They're weaker in a sense, not as strong, and not in order to juggle it, and therefore the sparks themselves are split into fragments. So therefore it extends over the other exiles also.
Can call it a night.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.